We are back from the break. This is Sports Zone, and I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Pamela thought I made a mistake by pronouncing my own name. No, I didn't make a mistake. God forbid. I didn't. I've been joined by Victor Achutamaklu, affectionately called VAT, but today he's not here to take taxes. He's here to have a conversation about issues that matter to Ghana sports. Achu, welcome.
Thank you. One of these days, we need to drag Pamela here so the viewers can see the person you've been bantering with.
Pamela, please walk in. We want to see you.
Are you serious?
Actually, before we go into the conversation in detail, I want us to hear from the Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams. He met the press earlier today and made some interesting revelations in the new budget or estimates submitted by the Ghana Football Association for the World Cup qualifying matches against Central African Republic and that of Comoros.
An estimate that is within acceptable range. And the ministry had no cause to add any comment whatsoever to what was presented, but to just sign a covering letter and to forward this to the office of the president for consideration. And I must commend the FA for responding to this and acting accordingly. The impress, for example, that office of the president had caused to cut the last time had now even been reduced below what was even approved the last time from the office of the president. So what it means that the impress is now 10,000 instead of even the 20,000 that was approved the last time or the 60,000 that was estimated. So you can see clearly a clear departure from what it says that we had the last time and now, meaning that we all are responding to the issues as directed by His Excellency the President. Some other components that existed in the previous estimates did not find space in these current estimates. What it means is that the FA has also agreed that as part of their management responsibility and some of the other funds that are raised, they could easily take care of issues to do with fueling their buses to perform functions of moving players from their camp to the stadium or any other place to airport and what have you. So all these have been taken care of. So the cost for the away game came to $733,000. Total expenditure for our home game to $387,000. When you put this together, it comes to $1,120,000. That's $733,000 and $387,000.
Kofi Adams there, the Minister of Sports and Recreation, speaking earlier during a meeting, a press engagement rather. Achu, were you taken aback by this new quote-unquote estimate from the GFA?
Not necessarily. I think it is what you would expect from every progressive, forward-thinking organization. I think the minister showed his hand. He showed that while he may have a good relationship with them, his loyalty lies with the people. His loyalty lies with his government. And if he has to stick in the foot and inadvertently make them look bad, he will do it. And when that sort of thing happens, you would expect the GFA also to respond in the manner that they have done now, not the frivolous statements that they released a couple of weeks back.
They said they were going to respond.
I think this is the sort of response that you want to see. A significant shift in paradigm, a change in the way you go about, a change in the way you go about this whole budgeting and Black Stars expenditure. I still think there are aspects of it that need to go. for example, I don't understand why you will pay the Black Stars coach a salary and then decide that you are going to pay him
bonuses
20% of his salary as winning bonus. Why then do you think he's paid? He's paid to win football matches. If he wins those football matches, why do you have to then, as I sit here,
give him a bonus?
My job and I get paid at the end of the month. I don't expect any other compensation from the multimedia group for the job that I have done, because that is payment for it. If at the end of the year we have reached certain milestones, then a 13th salary may be considered. A conversation will be had about that. But you don't say that the very purpose for which you are paying him, when he realizes that objective, he is now going to get up to about 20% of his salary as winning bonus. From here on, and this is what I would expect from Kofi Adams, if it is a contractual item, if it is an item in his contract, if it is a clause in his contract that makes this practice obligatory, that needs to be reviewed. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sporting sense. It doesn't make economic sense. The sports ministry need to stick in the foot. They need to dig in, have a rethink of that situation. If it is not stated in the contract, as for that one, it's easier to scrap.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If it is not stated in the contract, it is easier to scrap. But one way or the other, that practice has to change, because when the same Black Stars coach, when he qualifies for the AFCON, he earns a bonus. When he qualifies for the World Cup, he asks for that one.
That one,
the last time,
they describe a performance bonus, and I can say, because I've had the privilege of reading some of the contracts.
Yeah. The last time he earned about when we qualified for the last World Cup, he earned around $800,000
Yeah.
for qualifying the team. So why does it make sense?
Qualification was about 400,000, and there were other bonuses and other things
that were added to it. So it doesn't make sense to me that you pay the Black Stars coach his salary for winning football matches, and then at the end of that same procedure, you pay him an additional 20% of his salary as winning bonus for winning the same football matches. For me, that bit has to go. Even the bit about fuel, look, we probably need to rethink the whole state sponsorship of fuel to the Ghana Football Association and insist on the specific areas that it needs to go, right? I want to watch my Division 1 League, Ghana Premier League matches, Women's Premier League games, FA Cup games at night. I want to, when I go to Premier League venues, there has to be a Saturday night, a Friday night, or midweek night culture. That is something that started a couple of years ago, but unfortunately, because there was no money to buy fuel, we had to stop. And these days, if you have paid attention, we are more comfortable being the games around 5 p.m. because you know that it will cost less fuel.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to keep the lights on for too long, as opposed to when you have to start the games at 7 p.m. So I'm glad that the FA now is going to take care of the fuel expenses around the national teams. But I will still want the government to have a look at the whole GOIL arrangements. And the last time the Black Stars played at Mali at home, thanks to the pitch panels and the advertising boards that we saw, we know that arrangement is still ongoing, because the GFA will not be giving GOIL free mileage.
If all the companies that are there, they are paying.
Yes. So it didn't make sense in the beginning that GOIL was sponsoring you. GOIL is the government of Ghana. It is a state-owned enterprise. They will sponsor you, give you money, and still give you part of that sponsorship in fuel. Then you turn around and go to the same government again, write to the sports ministry and the finance ministry, presenting a budget, asking them to take care of fuel expenses. When the same government, it's like you are robbing Peter
to pay Paul.
This one, you are not robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are robbing both Peter and Paul.
Okay.
You see.
I just want to read something for you.
So that bit about the fuel, for me, I'm glad that they are no longer going to ask the governments for fuel. But while we like that bit, for me, it's important that we have a look at that whole GOIL arrangement with the Ghana Football Association. If it needs to be expanded to cover the Ghana Premier League, yeah?
Okay.
So that at least we're able to have our games at night. For me, I'll be very happy on that side.
I just want to read some few lines of a contract between the Ghana Football Association and a coach. I don't want to mention the name of the coach so that you don't come and tell me that, oh, this is a coach. So this is the contract that was agreed between the Ghana Football Association and a coach towards the World Cup 2022. And the contract says that the head coach shall be in charge. And this heading is specifically job description and milestones. And it says that the head coach shall be in charge of and be responsible for the selection of players, training and play, the training, the play, and the performance of the Black Stars. It goes on to say that is 2.2 of the contract. It says that the head coach shall be responsible for the general technical direction and supervision of the Black Stars. So, where you were talking about the milestones, the parties agreed that the coach shall work and achieve the following milestones: build a strong and competitive senior national team, which is, I don't know if that's happened or it is still happening. Qualify the Black Stars for the FIFA World Cup 2022. This was the contract that was given to the coach. And it goes on to say that should the coach qualify for the World Cup, they were going to give him $350,000. In fact, $300,000. The head coach shall be entitled to a net sum of $300,000 if the head coach qualifies for the FIFA World Cup, which is payable within 4 weeks after the last qualification match. So these were, and in fact, this is a performance bonus, yes, a performance bonus. And this is 6.1.2.2 of the contract that was signed between the Ghana Football Association and the said coach. And in the end, Ghana qualified for the World Cup. So
the FA enjoys taking loans and paying interest on them, because...
And this was where they went and took a loan. They took a loan to pay this one.
Yes, that last clause about the clause being actionable in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. You know, the FIFA money for qualifying for the World Cup, the first tranche is paid, I think, a month to the World Cup.
Yeah, it comes June. No. So the first tranche
end of May.
Would come for you to prepare for the... Yes.
Around end of May.
Yeah.
That is when the World Cup is played in June.
Yes.
So, but qualification typically ends around November, latest by December.
Yeah. October, November, thereabout.
What that means is that whether the GFA, and often they have not had that money. We know this because they have told us so, at least.
It's a contract.
There is a case to refer to.
And that contract...
I'm saying that
add these words.
There is a case to refer to. They have said in the past that they had to take a loan to service the Otoado arrangements for this specific contract. Then, what that means is that they will take the loan and pay the interest on it. And they have agreed to this arrangement even when they know that they would not be in the position to
get the money within 4 weeks.
How do
you write this in your contract?
They enjoy paying interest on loans. Otherwise, the more pragmatic, I don't want to say sensible, the more pragmatic and economically sound, or accounting-wise, the sound move would be you propose to pay that amount when the FIFA money comes in.
Does it mean that Otoado took his money in April? Because the final round of the match was it the 29th or...
No, this one was different because this one...
I said, if you qualify for the 2022 World Cup, and they said 4 weeks after the last qualifying match.
This one, the tournament was in December.
Yes.
So I remember the money for this one came late October or early November.
No wonder they went and added those things. It's fine. Again, I've not mentioned the name of the coach, so stop assuming. Because sometimes they wonder where, I guess...
But basically, for me, it doesn't represent value for money. The coach is already being paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there is no need.
I agree with you.
If you see, this arrangement is different from that of the players. The players don't earn a salary. Yeah. So when they come in, and the team does well and the team wins, of course you have to pay them a bonus. So for the players, I would not even argue against the logic of paying them winning bonuses. But to the coach, I don't think that's questionable.
Okay, he says that is the opinion of Achu. Now let's do some boxing. And this one there, we'll hear from the Minister of Sports and Recreation and Samiri Captain. I was at that press conference and I put together this report. Ghana went through a revolution. A revolution many people actually believe divided this country. But guess the tool that was used to unite this country? Boxing. Azumah Nelson, the gentleman who walked into the ring with his own referee and redefined what it meant to be a Ghanaian. There was so much pride, and his victories brought unity, as the celebrations within the Ghanaian community had no political or tribal lines. Today, Ghana boxing is at crossroads. Massive crossroads to the extent that some people, some stakeholders within the boxing community actually marched up to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation in search of the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yawampo, for Accra, for the suspension of boxing activities in the country. Ghana boxing is at crossroads, but the Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, actually believed that lots can be done to be able to steady the ship of the sport in this country. There was an emergency stakeholder meeting with all the people involved within the Ghana boxing fraternity, and there was the inauguration of a 9-member committee to staff the affairs of boxing.
As a sector minister, I have every reason to be worried. But I also believe that enough is enough. We cannot sit idle by while the sport we love deteriorates. Ghana boxing is bigger than any individual. It is a national asset that must be preserved and nurtured for generations to come. And it should not be during our time that we bring to a sudden death this sport that has been nurtured and grown and established Ghana at the international level long before other sports did.
The Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has revealed the tenure of this committee chaired by the Venerable Samir Katan.
The work is staggered. There are some of the issues that we want done may take even a very long time to conclude on them. But the immediate term we are giving them is 3 months. 3 months. They can request for an extension for another period, not more than 30 days. So it is my considered view that some of the work we want them to do, they should be able to do it within maximum 4 months.
Samiri Captain will be assisted by Azumah Nelson, the man who was actually the major tool in the unity that Ghana had in the 1980s after the junta. And he's expected to bring his experience to bear to ensure that the sport is brought back to its heydays.
We have accepted this position to streamline boxing back to its glory days. And I believe what I wanted to say, the Honorable Minister have said it all. And I have it on paper too. He has said everything, and we are going to implement it strongly. We take the law. Law is law.
Well, this committee has got 3 months to change the face of Ghana boxing. This sport is a sport that has brought the country together. many times. And it shouldn't be a sport that should be at crossroads. Muftau Nabila Abdullahi for Joy Sport.
Muftau Nabila Abdullahi also seated here. Now, you know. But today, Pamela is doing what? The way she's counting me down, it be correct one.
She's not saying wine.
I've not had wine yet.
She got a wine at home, so.
Yeah. Arachi, you heard the minister saying that no individual is bigger than the sport. One of the things that actually happened, and you had mentioned it last week, about the fact that people appear to monetize the emotions of these stakeholders or fans of the sport. Those who masked up at the Accra Sports Stadium, actually in search of Yawan Pofakra to lynch him, should never have happened.
They were sensed there. I mean, let's not pretend that we don't know that some people put them up to this. They were sensed there. It is what it is. It's one of the things that will happen when you deal with the people that you're dealing with. But fundamentally, I thought this was very avoidable. The entire mess was very avoidable. I think the ministry and the National Sports Authority have thrown away 5 months and have essentially wasted 5 months doing nothing. The first incident happened in April. Between May, June, July, August, September, we have pretended to be rolling out an interim management board, then a normalization committee that has still not been essentially inaugurated to go out and then work. Then on that side, you have Patrick Johnson also thrown into the mix to sort of
He was there.
steer the ship. And I feel bad for people like Patrick Johnson because it's his face all over this.
Yeah.
Without people actually knowing that he had no real powers. So, yeah, he's there to help with the day-to-day administration because he's the former general secretary of the administration before Kotoko came in 2021. So he was brought in there to steady the ship. But essentially, I say we have wasted, or the ministry and the NSA, because I'm not part, they made their decision. I say they have wasted 5 months because when the thing happened, the first move they made, it was brilliant. The commission of inquiry that they instituted did a brilliant job. The first thing they had to do was to suspend the license of the GBA and suspend all boxing-related activities for 2 reasons. One, they, per their own admission, were no longer fit for purpose because they had admitted on camera that they had essentially circumvented all of the regulations that ensure good governance in the sports. So they were sanctioning bouts without properly signed contracts. They were sanctioning bouts involving boxers who did not have the license to fight from the countries that they were coming from. They were defrauding their own members by parading nurses as ringside physicians. These were the things the GBA admitted to on camera. And worst of all, they had not renewed their operating license for the year. And so when you have a situation like this before you, that had resulted in the death of a boxer, a situation that they had also admitted that there was no proper infrastructure for overseeing the relevant medical culture pre-bout and post-bout. Those 2 issues for me are the most important things in boxing. That pre-bout medical assessment, that ensures that the boxer is fit enough to stand in the ring. And then at the end of that, you have a contract that is insurance proof, that ensures that whatever state the boxer finds himself in, there is a comprehensive insurance that allows him to go to the hospital for at least the first 21 days and be taken care of at no cost to himself or the GBA. When the committee's 100-page reports highlighted all of these things, the GBA or the NSA and the sports ministry were armed. At that time, the public sentiments were in their favor. What they should have done was to implement the recommendations from that report. what they should have done was to suspend all boxing-related activities until such a time when you engage with your stakeholders, you engage with all your relevant publics, the boxers themselves, the matchmakers, the promoters, the administrators themselves, because the GBA's mandate was going to end on July 22nd anyway. So there was going to be a power vacuum. I'm saying that there was going to be, that is it. By that move, the NSA and the Sports Ministry legitimized the incompetence of the GBA.
They were only legitimizing a tenure for Roger Bano to also oversee it. Because
no matter what we say about Roger Bano and his people,
Abraham Kotoko had walked away.
Yeah, I'm saying that no matter what we say about Roger Bano and his people, they also did not do enough about the rot that Kotoko superintended over. How do you tell me that someone like the weight of Roger Bano, the retired referee, and all of the other members on the executive board could sit aloof and allow Kotoko to decide that he's not going to run an AGM for 4 years? Look, see, for me, it's not just a matter of the personality. Just let me finish. It's not just a matter of personality, because part of what it takes to get into that room is that you will have the clout for situations like that to whip up the numbers and raise a motion against the president. If you don't have that, I'm sorry, you are not fit for purpose. And that is why, as I sit here, I really am not moved by today's exercise, because everything I've explained to you are the reasons that these things should have happened 5 months ago, so that 2 months later, when you are rolling out a new administration to go out there and have the elective Congress, or 3 months, because 5 months should have been enough. Between May and the end of September, we should have been to the point where every promoter knows that before the GBA signs off on a bout for you, you have to provide comprehensive insurance cover to ensure that the boxer, the unfortunate case of Ernest Akuche, he went to the hospital, then came home. When the issues recurred, it was a pastor and a church that they took him to before they rushed him to the hospital.
In fact, apparently they took him to 2 separate pastors.
So there is an issue to do with even education. And bro, let's not act as if the communities that we come from, the communities that our boxers come from, are the East Legons or the Silicon Valleys. We know where our brothers come from, Choko, Jamestown, and we know the culture there. We know how spiritual our brothers are. I'm a Christian. I don't joke with my spirituality, but I know where to draw the line between when I need medical care and when I need to call the name of Jesus Christ. There are those who hold on to the spiritual aspects more strongly than some of us do, especially for some of these professional boxers. That's why I insist that the ministry has dropped the ball. Whatever happens next is up to them. Whatever happens now is just a matter of damage control. Because tell me why a problem that should have been resolved in 4 months is now going to take you about 8 months. Because it happened in April.
Yeah.
The earliest the GBA is going to have its elective Congress is first week of January.
Yeah, and in fact, they have a window of asking for an extension of additional 30 days if the 3 months given to them are not enough.
Look, the GBA has not done well. We've explained why they have.
Yeah. So, but this committee, what should be that key thing that they must get done?
Just go back. His Excellency Amaka Amatefi committee report is there.
It is in fact, they put a white paper on it. Actually.
It is gathering dust. It's not enough to say that you've put a white paper on it. It is simply not enough.
I have a copy of that white paper. I was one of the privileged few that got a copy of it.
The General Affairs Commission has the commission paper. Report also has a white paper. So, see.
Don't be pessimistic.
No, I'm not moved. I'm saying that I'm judging the ministry and the NSA by how they've conducted themselves in the last 5 months.
You are actually right. You are very right. We're taking a quick break here. This is Sports Zone. Show proudly brought to you by Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Sokins Mix, Guinness Yes We Can, The Game Energy, Feel the Energy, and Piva Natural Mineral Water.
refreshing and revitalizing. We are back in a jiffy. When we come back, we've got Ghanaian players abroad and a brief conversation on University for Development Studies and the success they chalked at the World University Games. We'll also be joined via Zoom by a very good friend, Mr. Akomia. We are back in a jiffy. This Sports Zone here on Joy Prime with me, Muftau and Nabila Outline. I'm doing this with Victor Achuchamaklo. Fifi Manfred is joining us. Abdul Karim Benin, who recently got married, also joined us.
Manfred? Who recently?
It was a very colorful wedding.
Did you give me your daughter to marry? Hey,
I know born girl, I beg. I know born girl.
but you said who recently?
But you don't marry.
I beg you, I don't marry. Hey.
Oh, you other went and gave your friend to someone's daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't spoil the market.
Challenge you.
No, you are still
Karim
very okay in the market.
has admirers.
Karim has
Allow
admirers.
him to make his pick. Don't
That
Yes.
thing,
don't mess his chances.
that thing is not. Why? What do you mean by that?
What is wrong with having admirers?
You did.
Are the ladies complaining?
Karim?
Are you coming to me?
Do
Are
you
the ladies
want to
complaining
be
to you?
a polygamous man? Do you want to be a polygamous?
But who says having admirers
you.
makes you polygamous?
What's the name of your girlfriend?
Oga, we are not talking here to talk about girlfriends and this. Are you coming to me? Let me finish my things and go.
You want to leave early? Why?
I want to talk about serious business.
I see green tie, green screen.
When you see green and green, it means it's football. Yeah, green tie, green background of football park. So
Because the football park is green turf.
yes, so I'm ready for the business.
Wow. You look good though.
Thank you very much.
You look,
yes.
you look very good.
Yes, thank you.
If you want to text Karim, please text it through me. I will let him hear.
See, find Karim. He's all over the social media. You can contact him directly through his socials.
No,
Forget his name.
no. At this point, Karim, you are a very young man, right? You are a very young man.
Yes, I know.
So you have to focus.
I am very focused.
This is his prime. You want the...
Karim, what do you have for us tonight?
All this I say, you still say this. I was waiting for you to say it long time ago. You know what to say. Muftau,
Eh?
I mean, America, you want to go some?
The US? Definitely.
Fantastic.
I've been there a couple of times. I would like to go back.
Okay. One man that is there already is Joseph Pencil. He's already in the US and he's playing for his ticket to play for the Black Stars at the 2026
World Cup.
Over the weekend, that is his team, LA Galaxy. They played against Sporting Kansas City and he bagged a first-half hat-trick.
Do you know Sporting Kansas, they used to have a Ghanaian interest as well?
That one, maybe.
Abdul Latif Blessing.
Fantastic. He's still
2016 Ghana
Yes,
Premier League
yes,
Gold
Latif
King.
Atta.
from there now.
Blessing, yes.
Latif Atta.
Blessing.
He's
He used to be with Liberty
That is
Professionals.
where he has played all his career abroad. He's still in America. Yeah. So, Pencil scored a hat-trick for LA Galaxy. That has only been done. First half hat-trick has only been done by two players previously.
Wow.
That is Robbie Keane and Alejandro Moreno.
Wow.
So, yeah. So he's now the third player for
History made.
LA Galaxy to score a first half hat-trick. And then if you are looking at Joseph Pencil since August 17 up to date, he has 9 goal contributions for LA Galaxy in the league in 5 games. And if you are looking at that same period, there are only 4 players in the American League that also have more goals or more goal contributions than Joseph Pencil. And those are Messi, Son Heung-min, and then Dennis Bouanga. Messi and Son, they have 11 goal contributions, then Dennis Bouanga 10, then Pencil in the last 5 games has 9. So he's on form, hitting really the peak of his form. And, next month we are having some big games. I hope he comes and delivers for the Black Stars. Then Antoine Semenyo, he's also a man on form. The thing is that when they come, it doesn't translate to the Black Stars. That's why I said they should just give me the job for free. Let me just work the magic for them. They say no.
In fact,
but you see,
someone sent me a message earlier, that was yesterday, saying that the Ghana Football Association should just take kudos plus some 2 other players added to the UDS team. Let's go.
Charlie.
We can go and sack it to Kriku and make the PE head of UDS and FA boss. And we are good to go. We have a very good national team. This is what we should be doing. Just take Karim, take out Otto, replace him there.
Fit, perfect match. So Antoine Semenyo, he plays for Bournemouth, and over the weekend he played 2-2 against Leeds United, and he scored his 4th goal this season. Yeah. 4th in 6 games, and has 2 assists as well. It means this season, if you are looking at the Premier League in terms of the top scorers, only Haaland, who has 8, and Semenyo has 4. Only Haaland has more goals than him. And if you are looking at goals and assists, Semenyo is 2nd when it comes to combination of goals and assists. Then Kamaldeen Sulemana. You see, a lot of people fear change, but change is good. Kamaldeen Sulemana, he left Southampton, where he was really struggling to thrive. But when he went to Atalanta, in the last 2 games, you can remember last week, I said he scored and assisted.
Yeah.
Then
against Torino.
He came up against the big boys this past weekend. That is Juventus. And when a good Kamaldeen can be terrifying, like, he decided to just take everything into his own hands and worked out the whole Juventus defense and scored one of the contenders for the goal of the season already. And it means that in only 5 games this season, he has scored 2 goals. The whole of last season, he played 30 games and has scored only 2 goals. And the season prior to last season, he played 26 games, he didn't score a goal. So change is good for him, hopefully.
Look, that goal was remarkable because he did so many things that you usually would not associate. With him.
Yeah.
The turn of pace, often in the Black Stars and even at other clubs that he's played for, he's taking shots from angles that his skill set is not suited for. So from distances where he will require power, and he bends it without generating enough power. And he hasn't got too much power in that foot. So often when he does that, but this time, the dribbling ability was impeccable.
Everything was spot.
The way he used the space and then moved them to his left to create space then, and how he even shot that shot was really brilliant. And long may it continue.
Fantastic. So, and if you're looking at my wing backs here, they are all making the team for the first time. Let me start from the right side. That is Tyrese Asante. He plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv. You are hearing his name here first. Tyrese Asante, 23 years old. Right back, he plays for Maccabi Tel Aviv. I'm giving a prophecy. The Black Stars, if they don't call him, the Netherlands, that is where he was born, but he has Ghanaian heritage. Over the weekend, that is Maccabi Tel Aviv, they played against Bine Sahin. That is the team Enim Kujo plays for. And in that game, out of the 85 passes he attempted, he completed 83 of them. He's a very good player of the ball. He can play, but his primary position is a right back, and I've given him a left wing back position, and he touched the ball 105 times. And he's not just a good passer of the ball, like short passes. He can do it in the long range as well. Out of the 5 long range passes he attempted, he completed all of them as well. Then let me talk about Tyrone Owusu. He was also of Swiss. He was born in Switzerland, but his parents are from Ghana, and he plays for Luzon. He scored his first goal of the season for Luzon when they beat FC Basel. You know, every season they are almost winning this, the league there. And he scored his first goal of the season for them, and they stunned them by 2-1. And he was key for them in that game, completed all the dribbles he attempted in that game. Then my midfield 2 of Joseph Atamalawe, all of them are from Turkey. Atamalawe plays for Korum, and they drew 1-1 against Umraniyaspor. And he's also a centre-back primarily, as we know, but over the past 2 seasons, he has played a lot as a defensive midfielder for most of the teams he has played in. And in that game, Umraniyaspor drawing against Korum, his team, he completed 88 of the 92 passes he attempted in that game. Then Musa Mohammed, he plays for Bodrum. In midweek, that is the past week, on Wednesday, he made 100 appearances for Bodrum. And over the weekend, they played against Manisa, and they won that game by 4-0, and in that game, he won all the tackles he attempted as a defensive midfielder. He's key for them, and at this point, they are top of the Turkish second-tier table, and they are in contention for a return to the Turkish top flight. Then Ali Duseidu completed his first 90 minutes for Stade Rennais. after going on that long injury layoff since November
Yeah,
last
he's retaining his position because he came back last week.
Yes, last week.
Also, Poko is also retaining his position.
Yes.
Okay.
Then in that game, Ali Diseidu, he played just the same position for them. They played a 3-back system, and in that game, completed the most dribbles 3 and completed assisted 2 of the 67 passes he attempted. Then Alexander Djiku plays for Spartak Moscow, and he was also key for them. All the center-backs, ball-playing center-backs, Djiku also attempted 98 passes and completed 91 of them. It means that he misplaced just 7 passes. Then Joseph Annan, the goalkeeping situation was sort of so similar. All of them lost. Joseph Annan plays for St. Patrick's, that is, and they lost 1-0 to Sligo Rovers. And in that game, he made 3 saves, prevented averagely a goal. If not, they would have lost by 2-0 in that game. And then the main goalkeeper, Lawrence Atizigi, plays for St. Gallen. Yeah. And in their game, they also lost, but he made 8 saves. That is always the story of Lawrence Atizigi. And for the Black Stars, that is always how. And you mentioned something even before I came to that. And our Prophet, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it is narrated that he said, a man who marries has obtained half of his faith. And if you go to the Bible, Proverbs 18, verse 22, actually, you say you take your religion seriously. What does Proverbs 18, verse 22 say?
He who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes, and obtains the favor of the Lord. And I made history in Kumasi over the weekend, you know. I was the best man for the first time.
You see, so you have someone to find half of his faith.
Yes, half of his faith and obtain the favor of the Lord. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Jamaldin Yayoka. So my people, I've done well for them. So congratulations to them.
Congratulations to Karima and his friend.
My friends, Karima is so Muftar, that is it.
Wow.
You see,
what are you finding your own?
I beg you, let's keep it.
What are you finding your own favor?
Let's keep it. When the time comes, you know.
Allow the young man.
No, actually, you are also saying this because you've not found your own.
See,
I will find it when the time comes. Why?
Wait, let's also make it our own time. Why are you rushing us?
Who is rushing who?
You are rushing us.
You can move from here all the way up to Kumasi to give someone's daughter to your friend, but cannot find someone for yourself. And you can look me eyeball to eyeball and say, oh, I can allow you.
Allow the young man.
Charlie.
Muftar, see
life no wonder you continue to eat street food. Street food. So your friend will no longer eat.
Who says I eat street food?
You eat street food?
I don't.
You cook?
Yes.
You cook?
Yes.
So you're a very good cook?
Yes.
Me too, I cook.
Doctor. Oh, gentlemen, thank you very much, Karim. I'm extremely grateful that you brought us Ghanaian players abroad. Now, we're moving the conversation on, and this one, I just wanted to be very brief on them, about the success of UDS winning the University Football Championship, Kotoko's qualification to the next phase of the CAF Confederation Cup, and JS Kabili knocking out Bibiani Gold Stars. Let's take a look at the UDS game against Paulista University, where they came from behind after conceding under 30 seconds to win that game by 2-1. And a few names to note in this success are Sigiri Suleiman Mohammed and that Izzedine Al-Hassan, that gentleman who crossed the ball, and their goalkeeper, Edo Emmanuel. Charlie, these boys, extremely. In fact, the entire team, there was this guy, Frimpong. I've forgotten his...
No, Frimpong.
Charlie, yeah. They don't play ball.
No, so I'm glad that finally Tanko's name gets to be mentioned in glowing terms, because I think I mentioned this on Hits FM earlier today. Up until now, and for some time now, whenever you mention his name, people go like, And it's all because of that less than satisfactory stint at Hearts of Oak a few years back.
Yeah.
People have still not forgiven him because it didn't work out well. But I always say that he perhaps has been unlucky in terms of the sort of jobs that he takes.
Yeah.
But he's a very smart man, very perceptive. If you ever have an encounter with him and get to just listen to him explain football to you, you will know that he's very well educated, knows his stuff, and understands what it takes to put together a good team. And for the lads who had the privilege of training under him, I think they've thoroughly enjoyed this campaign. Props to the Ghana Football Association as well. They were also very supportive. In fact, they extended an arm to. So for those who watched the highlights, you would see that some of the players were wearing GFA, Black Stars vest, and all of that. Yeah. Those were some of the supports the GFA gave to the team came in that form. So they have done everything possible to ensure that the EDS team went down to excellent. It's a beautiful story. I do hope that with this comes a bit more interest, a bit more commitment
into school and the Kusa games and all that.
At that level, because look, it looks as though for a lot of our players, when you get to secondary school, you have to choose between active or continuing with your school, or you drop the books for your boots. There are only a handful of them who are able to combine the two. So I remember, if you look at the Ghana Premier League, maybe Dennis Kosa, there was this guy who used to play for
Dreams FC,
Olympics. Very
Abel Manomi.
Yeah. Then I think this generation, Ronald Frimpong himself is one of those.
Tetazuta.
Yes,
Tetazuta Mediama.
Well, but there are not many. I think the late Yuri Asante as well. Part of the 2009.
And Abagna Sandan.
Yeah. There are not many great examples of footballers who have gone through tertiary education still playing active football. They often give up on football after university or even when they enter university. And so I'm glad that when we talk about success stories like this, it's an opportunity for us to tell people that there are actually some very well-educated players, guys still playing football at the elite level. Excuse me. In Ghana. And it's an opportunity for us to tell you people that the Ghana Premier League is not full of kubolos or people who are uneducated.
who are not well educated. Let me go on the Zoom right now. I have Fifi Manfred. Fifi, thanks very much for joining us tonight. It appears we have some challenges with Fifi Manfred, but we hope to have him pretty soon. Let me go to Kotoko now. They are through to the next phase of the CAF Confederation Cup. They went away to beat Kwara United by 1-0. Did you see this coming, Ashu?
I'm not surprised. I would not say I saw it coming. If I saw it coming, I would have predicted they were going to qualify. So I'm not going to now sit here and
after that 4-3 at the Accra Sports Stadium.
I didn't see it coming. But you trust Zito in some of these circumstances because he gets it.
Come on, for a reason. I just like him naturally.
In these situations, the objective is to be difficult to beat. And Zito is as tough as they come. Right. And he is one of those managers who walk into a team and doesn't get bogged down about processes and having to get a team through a cycle of torpor and team building and all of that. He just wants his team to win football matches and be difficult to beat. And I think that this one was remarkable because this is a very untested team, very young team. For almost every player in that group, this is their first time playing outside of Ghana in a competitive game, right? And for someone like Hubert Jehu, had a difficult start when he came in. I remember when they signed him in the first Super Clash when they played Accra Hartlepool in the President's Cup. Yeah. He was not trusted to start. He came off the bench, and so for him to have a fine day like he did and come up with the goal that he did is something that will do a lot for his confidence and for his Kumasi Asante Kotoko career. I have not liked the way everyone is throwing with that in the face of Kotoko. And the team has not even had the time to enjoy what they have accomplished. Look, what happened yesterday was remarkable. It's the first time in 55 years that Kotoko have won in Nigeria. It doesn't happen all the time. And so when a team does something like that, you need to give them the plaudits. Look, I'm just going to conclude by saying,
you are throwing me an indirect shade.
No, not you.
At our editorial meeting this morning, I was throwing with dark stuff in front of people saying, "Make we."
Oh, then let me also throw some with that stats in your face. But what will excite Kotoko fans? I get it. Without are probably still favorites.
Yeah.
But there is no cause for alarm. It is not the Without team that beat Hartlepool 6-1. A lot has changed since then. There is a new manager.
But there appears to be this mental block coming up against North African opposition.
Not necessarily. Because the same with that, Kotoko have beaten, in fact, everyone is quick to point to 2002.
Yeah.
What they don't tell you is that in 2004, Kotoko met the same with that in the playoff stage of the CAF Confederation Cup, the maiden edition of that.
Yeah.
And Kotoko beat them over 2 legs. In fact, Kotoko went away, did not lose. They drew 1-1 in Casablanca, and then beat them by 2-0. Charles Taylor created both goals in that game in Kumasi. And so when it comes to head-to-head, Kotoko actually have a decent record, except that on that day in Kumasi in 2002, people simply can't seem to move on. But I'm just going to say this, yeah? Since Wydad won the CAF Champions League in 2022, they have not exactly been great. Look, the last time they won the league was in 2022. They have not won it since then. They finished 6th with 44 points at the end of last season, 28 points behind the eventual champions, Raja Casablanca. No, that was in the 2023-24 season. Last season, Wydad could only manage a modest 3rd place with 54 points, 16 points behind eventual winners, RS Berkane. Their best finish since winning the league in 2022 was the 2nd place finish in 2023. When AS FAR Rabat, the Royal Armed Forces of Morocco team, pipped them by a point. Look, this is a new team. In fact, last year, the former president, Haidari Nasisi, who is now incarcerated for drug trafficking and some other money laundering and some other related issues, his tenure ended. He moved on. There is a new president called Hikam Aimena. He is the one in charge of the team. There is a reason this Wydad has dropped to the CAF Confederation Cup and is not even competing in the Champions League. I get it. Okay. They are a strong team. Okay. But let's not act as if this is the all-timer with that team from 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. Let me go on Zoom right now. I have Fifi Manfred. I don't know if he's sleeping. Fifi, are you sleeping? Did he doze off?
I'm not sleeping. I just looked up a little. How are you?
But I'm okay. How about you? Thanks very much for joining us. But talk to us about Kotoko's victory over Kwara United. This is a victory, as Achu has mentioned. First time in about 55 years, Kotoko is winning in Nigeria. What does this mean for the club? And what is following that win, what was the atmosphere like within Kumasi?
Well, thank you. It's huge. It's huge. I'll start from how it was when Kotoko won by a very narrow margin before they went to Nigeria. So here in Kumasi, a lot of the folks were worried because if you play here in Ghana and then you win by 4-3 in a competition where the away goal rule is still in session, then it's a little bit worried. So in Kumasi, everybody was worried. Everybody kept on asking questions if Kotoko can do it in Nigeria because, in recent times, we had seen even the likes of Kadiugo come to the Barbara Sports Stadium and eliminate Kotoko. So the Kumasi Santi Kotoko faithfuls, their most recent memory of Kotoko in Africa was one that wasn't successful. So they were very, very much worried about Kotoko going to Accra. But then, like Achu did mention, having, and also you did point to the fact that having the coach who is very experienced, Abdul Karim Zito, having worked with Dreams and gone that far in the CAF Confed Cup, the last time out, was that little hope for the club. And the fact that most Kotoko fans believe that Kotoko has the best squad in the Ghana Premier League and they have a lot of talent, they believe that was going to be done. For me, you asked Achu if he was surprised. I wasn't surprised because the way Zito played against Kwara away in Abeokuta was the same way he has played in about 3 or 4 of his last games when he goes away from home. He played the same way in the Champion of Champions against Bibiani Gold Stars and Bibiani at the dance park. He played the same way the last time when he went to Beijing, when he went to Bekum, to get his very first win for Kotoko away from home against Bekum in well over a decade. And also he did same at Accra. And what he did was simple. Shut up shop, allow the home team to play their football and then be very physical and win their draws and win the game. The goal scorer on the night away at Accra was Hubert Jewu, who was also in the thick of affairs when Kotoko went away to Bekum to get that very, very huge win the last time out in the Ghana Premier League. So Abdul Karim Zito seemed to understand playing at home. He seemed to do the basic things. He seemed to know how to shut up shop and form a defensive unit that get a job done. So, I mean, after that, the people in Kumasi are very much excited that Kotoko have gotten that win. Yes, they are not getting them ahead of themselves, but the fact that they've been able to go away to Nigeria and then beat Kwara United after that very solemn win away in Ghana, it's been very huge. And in the streets of Kumasi this morning when we started to speak to people, it was euphoric, people excited, people happy. At least that Kotoko have made their next step into the CAF Confederations Cup.
Thank you. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to Europe to talk about Arsenal's victory over Newcastle United, Manchester United dropping points or losing because defeats announced synonymous with Ruben Amorim and his team. And in fact, I've got a couple of messages here. One interesting message meant for Ruben Amorim is from Pa inside Awoshi. He says that, so what does a significant reduction in budget specific mean to the entire budget outlook of the FA for the national teams? Are we going to see enhanced budgets for junior and female national teams as well? And he goes on to say, how stubborn can Ruben Amorim, a.k.a. Kwame Amobi, head his lonely man at Carrington these days? And this one says that, hi, Karim. He said Karim looks sweet and sharp in his apparel. Wow. I like the shape of his haircut also. Mensa from Takrade. Good evening. Congratulations to my club Arsenal for their fighting spirit and determination to win the match against Newcastle United. Last week, I was mad at Arteta, but that Newcastle game, he behaved well. The English Premier League should look into officiating and VAR last weekend. There are so many bad calls. Emmanuel watching from Cotonou. And this one says, good evening. Please, can you confirm for me? I hear from social media that FIFA has sanctioned South Africa. Yes, it's true. I got a copy of that email from FIFA. They've docked them 3 points for fielding an unqualified player against Lesotho in the World Cup qualifier. So currently, South Africa is second on their group behind Benin, but they have equal points. And Nigeria, too, is third on the group as well. So it's true. I got a copy of that FIFA email that was communicated around 2 p.m. Today. And I'm going to take a quick break now. When I come back, we'll take you to Europe and bring you highlights of the matches that were played. We are back in a jiffy. Hello, everyone. This is Sports Zone. If you have joined us, we've been speaking about Ghana boxing, the budget submitted by the Ghana Football Association, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and UDS winning the World University Football Tournament. Now, I'm taking you to Europe and bringing you highlights of some of the matches that were played, started with Newcastle United versus Arsenal, Brentford defeating Manchester United, and Chelsea also losing. These are the results of the matches that were played. Brentford 3, Man United 1, Leeds 2, Bournemouth 2, Chelsea 1, Brighton 3, Man City 5, Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 1, Nottingham Forest. They started at home and they lost to Sunderland. Tottenham drew 1-1 against Wolves. Aston Villa 1-3-1 against Fulham, and Newcastle United, they lost to Arsenal by 1-2. And this game produced 3 goals that were all scored by headers. Yes. We brought you commentary of that game on Joy 99.7 FM on Sunday. Wow, what a game this was. Let me go on Zoom to speak to Manfred. Manfred, how did Arsenal turn it around, taking advantage of Liverpool dropping points to close the gap on them?
Well, I think that was a very, very interesting one from Mikel Arteta and his boys. One thing that I think that Arteta has done and done very well is this season there is a lot of quality in depth So if you look at the games that they played in recent times, they've had a lot of substitute players come and change the game for them. It started with the game they played with Villarreal in the Champions League, I think about 2 weeks or so ago, where they needed to score a goal. They brought in a certain Gabriel Martinelli from the bench who came to 10 again on his head for them, and they won that game together with Leandro Trossard. This time in this game against Newcastle, Muftau, it's very interesting to note that this was the 4th time that they were going there, and out of the 4 times that they had gone there, out of the 3 times that they had gone there prior, they had lost all 3. So it was going to be 4th time losing if Nick Voldemada's goal had held as the solitary goal in the game. So it was always going to be interesting. But in those substitutions of bringing on Mikel Merino, and also in the second half bringing in a certain Martin Odegaard, who created that goal for Gabriel Magalhaes, was the difference maker on the night. I think that Mikel Arteta has built a team that is very difficult to find a fault in. A lot of people have said that the mentality of the team is probably the big question around them. I mean, which is fair if people want to say that, because at the end of the day, they've come close a lot of the times and they've not won the English Premier League. So everybody will begin to question them when it comes to their psyche, their mentality and all of that. And I think it's even natural that they, even as human beings, begin to question themselves as if they are good enough. But on the night where the nearly men conversation was lingering around their necks, they stood up and then they got counted by a very good tactical setup by Mikel Arteta, and also understanding that there is a need to match Newcastle physically. When you go away to go and play against Newcastle at Tyneside, you need to be able to be as physical as they are, you need to be as combative as they are, and you need to be able to win your duels. And they did that. They had the men, they had a physical specimen in their team. And it's not shocking or surprising that the 2 goals that they scored were from very physical and bulky and big players in Mikel Merino and Gabriel Magalhaes. And we're also able to get a win from a corner kick.
Thank you very much, Manfred. I'm extremely grateful. And this our time will permit us here for Sports Zone, proudly brought to you by Guinness Yes We Can, and also Piva Natural Mineral Water, the Game Energy, Kivo 4-in-1 Garoso Kings Mix. There's UEFA Champions League football this week, Tuesday and on Wednesday. Watch out, we'll have commentary on His 103.9 FM. But this message is from Kojo inside Bono. He says, Amorim, the least said, the better. His selection, game tactics, inconsistent selection are just shambolic. He will suffer because he doesn't have the players to play the system he wants to play. But he signed so many players. How can you be signing players and you don't get the players you want to use to play your system? This is a message from Kojo from Bono. Thanks very much for being a part of the show. We are extremely grateful. See you once again next week, Monday. Enjoy the rest of our programs.